Great that the charter's control and there's no alternative to going inside of that. I just wanted to say I disagree with this. I know it's unfair, but it's not even close to as unfair as losing the right to your land, which you occupied Dutch for up to 200 years. It's not even close to as unfair as being denied your culture, your native way of life, and your dignity because of the lack of formalistic requirement you need to preserve it. And it's not even close to as unfair as having your children cast aside due to their race and thrust into a hostile urban environment without a semblance of hope for the future. But you know, as the more I look at this charter, the more I realize that there might be something that we can do for those people without title and run. Our team charter also provides a concession to be granted for those who wish to retain their seats in the absence of formal title and desire to learn more about the battle that the African Caribbean population of Talamanca fights each day to retain the land that they've known as their home for the past 200 years. As my colleague Judy Young noted in the beginning of our presentation, over the past year, their struggle has become newsworthy to law office. While the social, political, and legal issues surrounding their struggle are complex and difficult to resolve, without the formed, compassionate, and dedicated individuals advocating for them, these issues will never be resolved. So we encourage you, if you have a question or a concern, please don't hesitate to ask, and that goes for anybody. Anything that we can do to keep these people on the front page is worthwhile. So you guys can really stay.
Well, first of all, I just want to say you all have obviously done an enormous amount of work. It's really, as someone who came in knowing nothing about this issue, I now really feel like I have background, I have a sense of where things are going, and it's really incredible. So well done, first of all. But more so, I'm just interested in the process of working with a client that is in another physical location, in another country. How did you bridge those gaps? How did the process go? For this research, just can you talk a little bit more about sort of the background as the curtain opens?
Yeah. Well, my colleagues are free to jump in. As a matter of fact, we want to keep this a dialogue and a conversation. So anybody in this room who's got expertise, and I know that there's a lot of expertise in this room as well, can jump in. But I know personally working on my section, I looked into a lot of the property law and translating. Well, you know, laws in English are kind of difficult. Translating them from Spanish and trying to understand the problem that's going on is extremely complicated. But expert interviews were just essential, and talking to Edwin Patterson, talking to Katie, talking to him, was just invaluable for our understanding.
We also had a lot of, there was a lot of technology involved. We actually have Emily on Skype right now. She can't see you, but she can hear you. She can kind of see me. And we've kind of over the semester, over the last 7 months, I guess, have done a lot of phone conversations. We had the opportunity to have conference calls with Professor Breckenridge and Danielson, and so there's been a lot of use of mixed media and technology to try and make sure we really understand this, and also having the opportunity to look at photos and video and get interviews from Katie has been really invaluable for the progression of this project.
And I just want to add that another complication, not just that the client was in another country, was that the Talamancan people aren't people that have a lot of information about them worldwide. So us just trying to find that information was difficult. We really relied a lot on the client to point us in the right direction in terms of sources, because it wasn't something that just a normal internet search was going to take care of, like you might expect with other populations maybe that have been studied more. So that's why our clients' work is so important, because it's documenting the livelihoods of these people and getting them to be in a newsworthy place so that what's going on with them can't be denied and silenced. So hopefully the important work of the Rich Coast Project will keep the Talamancans in the public eye for the years to come.
Hi. I'm interested in the discussion on native title. So the third element about having to show maintenance of traditional use of the land, I guess in your research, how is that evidence in other situations in other countries? Because you mentioned that it had been used successfully in other situations. So I guess what are some examples of how that was demonstrated? And then secondly, if, I don't know if your research went into this, but if this was going to be, if you were gonna advocate for this framework to be used, how would you get over what seems like a pretty big hurdle to, it's one thing to say that it's analogous, but to actually make the point that these are non-Indigenous people that are using something that has historically been used for Indigenous populations to advocate for land ownership.
I'm Hillary. I did the research on native title. As far as the third element, how that was traditionally used in these situations, like maybe land was used to harvest corn. It was originally used in a way where they used sort of, maybe they had people doing it in the fields or things like that, and now they use some sort of mechanism or machine to, that's the sort of modernization we talked about. However, it got very creative, so if you could show some, these aren't like strict elements, so sort of people have been very creative in using it in ways in other countries to show just some sort of continued use that shows, because in a lot of places they did have to change the traditional uses of land over time through force by governments or by maybe some of the lands in other places where it's been used were refuge for animals or protected. So as long as you could show even a small, it's like it's still used for agriculture, so maybe it's not even corn anymore, maybe now it's used for soybeans. But if you could show that this was sort of a progression, then it usually would be okay, that would work. The harder thing you're talking about, which is the analogy with the Indigenous population, is the harder hurdle. That's where the international human rights treaties come into play. So one of the treaties that, we didn't really talk about the treaties as much in the oral presentation, it's more on paper, but in one of the treaties, the ILR 169, which talks about rights for Indigenous people. There's how you define Indigenous for these rights guaranteed on these treaties is actually the definition that the own group gives to itself. So there's no actual definition to fall under this treaty that that's being imposed internationally. So you can make arguments so those are sort of how you would make the arguments, is in a sort of creative way of having to sort of pile on a lot of different theories together. But that's sort of the idea, and it is a hurdle, so we're not in any way saying we can use it. But that's sort of how we're making the framework. I don't know if that's your question.
Thank you guys. I think you did an incredible job. And I think the topic is really critical at this point. I think in the last, I'd say, 15, 20 years, as we enter more into a period where you don't have traditional colonialism as we think of it, but you have something very similar that displaces people from their land, but through methods more along the lines of globalization and through neoliberal programs, and by states themselves, people living within the land. This is increasingly an issue, so I appreciate the framing and the historical context that you guys gave, because there's a lot of intersections that can. I'm really interested in this topic. I didn't know much about native title. I find, being someone who is Palestinian, the eviction notice and the intersections with what's happening for Indigenous people there is so similar and parallel. So I'm fascinated to hear more about, in your personal opinions, do you find the route in the use of native title as a really kind of sharp or critical way to be able to advocate for people, or do you think that there needs to be some sort of combination between organizing and resistance on the ground by the people for the people in combination with native title, for example? What are your opinions about what are the more strategic, but also affirming for people and their agency routes to go from here on out?
I think that's a really good question, and I think where native title has been used, it's been used in a lot of common law countries so far, but it was used in South Africa, which is a pluralistic legal system, which has a civil law component, so that's why we thought it would be analogous to Costa Rica, which is a civil law country, but it's still sort of up and coming. It's been used in the court systems, but to sort of get the support, I think it is really important to have that on the ground movement, and even in countries where it's been successful, it's been in tandem with human rights treaties. So it is this whole organizing, it's layers where you're, in order to get, because a downside of native title is a country can basically make a law that they are not going to recognize native title, then it's gone. So, and then that's what you have to fight. So that's where the organizing comes sign on to a lot of human rights treaties. And it's, that's really complicated compared to understanding all these treaties, because each one has sort of different mechanisms for enforcement. But through these, they are signed on in Costa Rica to treaties that guarantee participation in the political system. And through that treaty, they are supposed to have a voice in land, property ownership. Those are all rights that they are entitled to. They're signed on to treaties that are anti-discrimination treaties, and those treaties would also guarantee certain rights. And so this would, you can make a real strong argument that this is a discriminatory practice. And then there's the indigenous rights treaties that you try to find with those. And so layering those are sort of your background, sort of your movement, your political movement that you build together, and that's sort of your support. And that's how you could try to keep native title on the books, because it is just sort of this it's a common law, hopefully civil law also, doctrine. It's just used in the courts, but that would sort of be the supporting mechanism. So it's not, it's not like this easy thing. It's not this easy concept. But so I think you would need all those ways to build support for it.
I also looked a lot at this indigenous rights framework, and I just wanted to respond to that, but it seems a little tricky to get input in the context of globalization, like you see neoliberal, where indigenous communities are having to prove that they're indigenous enough, and in this context, tourism is kind of displacing the way things were before, and individual private property rights is displacing. So